Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Windy City of Chicago. Tonight we got 134 laps at the AutoZone 200 Speedway. Join with me in the booth here is returning Al Kozlowski. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, buddy. How are you?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, man. A couple weeks off for me. I figured I'd pop in here in the booth. I'm not here very often. Let me introduce myself. I'm Chris Severa. I figure I should do that first. So what we got here tonight? We got the racers already on track, throwing down some qualifying laps. Al, what do
Yeah,
you got in the keys to tonight's race?
we look like we got Caden Rush is knocking down the field at 29.424 in his number 15 machine. Presently, he is the fastest in qualifying.
424 is a very quick time. It's just about as quick as he did in practice. Track temperature tonight is around upwards of 120 degrees. Let me double check that. 118 is what we're currently at. We'll see how that fluctuates throughout the race here.
During practice, I watched Austin Bulkey put the fastest lap up there, and he was running at 29.2 something, I believe. And I expect to see that. I'm going to assume that was a qualifying setup that he was running. And Caden Rush and them are running their race setups. So now that they put a qualifying setup on here, they're probably going to be pretty competitive with Austin, as Austin sits in the seventh fastest so far in that 25 machine, and he just dropped down to eighth.
And Caden Rush also coming off a very strong week last week at Sonoma. He's currently second in the points right there behind Gregory Hectus. Everybody's pretty tight. Only 1 week into this new season. What are your hopes for this season, Al?
This Chicago race typically brings out a lot of talent, and I'm going to make my pre-race prediction on who I believe I'm going to see in victory lane, and I'm solely basis on patience and talent alone.
Absolutely.
Watching this driver and personally knowing this driver, I'm going to put it out there that my pick for the win is going to be Donnie Gatton Jr. in the number 9 machine.
Well, you got Donnie Jr. I'm going to pick the 38 of Kyle here. And before we get down there, they're just about to finish up qualifying. Before we get to the grid, let's go and throw a quick shout out to our sponsors over here.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
All right, now we're back off that commercial a little bit. We're going to have an invitational from Dalton Mobley here shortly, and then we'll have the national anthem, and we'll get this party started.
Dalton, you can go ahead and take us away.
We kind of can't. My game just crashed.
Well, we're having technical difficulties, so we may have to just get right into the national anthem and just wish all the drivers a safe and eventless, accident-free race. If we get some technical issues figured out, we'll get back in time. We will have that invitational from Dalton Mobley, but in the meantime, let's grid this thing out right quick. On the starting grid, we look like we have the 15 of Caden Rush. And in the outside line will be Kyle Feemster in the 38. And on second row, we have Andrew Melvin in the 37. And next to him would be Brian Johnson. Row 3, we have Sam Lear in the 78. And outside of him will be the 3 of Michael Eames. And behind them, we will have in starting 7th is Jeff Hollingsworth in the 97. And next to him will be Austin Bulkey in the 25. In row 10, we have Gregory Hectus in the 87 and Chris Johnson in the 2.
Now, wrap out our top 10. Before we get down to this race, let's throw it down to the track side for our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages.
Oh, say, can you see the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
So are we experiencing technical difficulty all the way around, or?
Alrighty, something just about that new season smell as we about to get ready to head down. We set these drivers loose as they're going to head down into turn 1 under these pace laps.
Yes, sir. Now, I had ran through the top 10. If you can run us through the next 10 on this track, starting with Travis Rowland in the 55 until we're going to about to go green here at this next lap by.
Right behind Travis starting in 11th, we have Charles in the 40 car. Behind him is Mike Knight, accompanied by Jeffrey Smith, Tommy Amos, Donnie Gatton Jr. Behind those guys, number 10, Ben Quimbley Jr., number 12, Michael Doyle, number 8, Jay Felton, and in 20th spot we have number 95, Harry Wilkes.
And that would be actually the 93 of Harry Wilkes. And behind Harry would be the 24 of Kenny Powell. And outside line of Kenny would be Isaac Barkley in the 94. Then we have the 1 of Aaron Tribble, starting 23rd. 4th would be Brian Tong in the 7. Michael Shear is in the 75, starting 25th. Stephen West in the 74, he's starting 26th. Ron Hollyfield in the 90. Clifton Cockrell in the 16. Craig Johnson in the 83. James Colabili in the 17, and Chris Severa in the 1.
Well, I wish I was out there on track. These looks fun as the pace truck's going to turn down off of turn number 4. These drivers are free. Green flag, and we are away at the AutoZone 200.
And Caden Rush, he got him a nice leap right there, but that's not going to last long because these guys will get loose in this next turn.
Especially on the very start of these runs. Oh, we got a quick caution already. We won't even get to the backstretch.
What caused that?
I saw one car get sideways entering into turn 1. A little bit of contact on the front. Well, it's a new season. These drivers need to get to know one another, learn who they got to feel each other out, learn who they can race with. And I believe we have a replay of that. We'll get to that in just a second. Before, did you happen to see who went around there, Al? I can't quite find it.
I do not see that. I'm getting the producers telling me that actually the 55's name pronunciation is Travis Rolone. So I don't know if we tore that up on the introduction or not. I apologize for that, Travis. We a lot of these names sometimes we can't pronounce them correctly. I don't
Right.
see the accident. Let's see if we can
But on
find
that
out.
restart, it looks like it was the number 9 collecting the 24 of Kenny Powell on that restart.
Boy, Kenny does not have much. He had some bad luck last week that caused him to finish the race with half a car. And it looks like this week is not going any better for him.
It's always unfortunate on the opening laps here. It looks like we had a driver in the back get a very good start on the field and comes up 3 wide heading into turn 1. Perhaps maybe instigated, maybe it could have influenced those drivers' inputs just that little bit. Nonetheless, you hate to see that on the first lap.
Well, the first lap is just like every lap here. You have any front end damage on these cars, and it's crucial. It takes away all kinds of performance. As my pick of the race win, Donnie Gatton has been involved with that 24th Kenny Powell. That might take my hopes of seeing my pick in victory lane out of the equation.
Absolutely, and like you say, with the damage of these cars, especially for the first 10 laps, this draft can be so strong. Just the pull that you can get from having another car in front of you coming down the straights, you'll see these guys initially spread out. Chicagoland's typically known for being a one-groove track. Really, if you find yourself side by side with anyone else, you're going to end up losing speed getting into and coming off these corners, and having any little bit of aero damage on the top of that, that's not going to work in your favor. Well, with keys of this race, we got a little bit of a breather here before we really get into it. Like I said, with this track here, mostly it's a single file groove, and I just think saving your tires is going to be absolutely crucial here.
Yeah, these cars get extremely loose for roughly 6 to 8 laps, and then they start tightening up. As you will start seeing people come out of turn 2, they'll get closer and closer to that wall until eventually that wall will come out and gravel. Any kind of front end damage, like I mentioned with the incident that happened between Kenny Powell and Donnie Gatton Jr., any kind of front end damage will hinder your ability to this vehicle to turn correctly in the race, or productively, I could say. So you'll watch that coming out of turn 2, that wall will get further and further into the track like it's moving, and it's not that the cars are just pushing up further and further. Not so much in 3 and 4, but it does happen coming out of 4 as well.
Yeah, very crucial on this track to be able to get that rubber down and get the drive out of that corner to get that past and get underneath. I believe the bottom lane is going to be the strong lane. If you are going to make that move here today, getting to that inside and getting that drive off the corner and being able to put your car into position to do it, you know, it's going to be so crucial being able to get that power down. And just the way this track ends up eating tires, once we get some rubber laid down and these cars really tighten up, we're going to see some serious speed coming out of these cars tonight.
Well, Chris, if this is any kind of an indication on how this race is going to run, we already have 3 drivers that are a lap or more down, and we're only 4 or 5 laps in. So if this keeps going, we may see a race like last season where there were only 3 or 4 drivers that actually finished on the lead lap. We've got to put our patient pants on here, and these drivers have to understand these cars are going to get extremely loose. They go from loose to tight. Sometimes they go back to loose. So they're unpredictable.
Absolutely, and like I said earlier, new season, new drivers, some familiar faces still out there, but this season we got the stakes a little bit higher, a little bit of a prize pot at the end of the season. So these drivers may be willing to do a couple things that they were not willing to do last season. Maybe that perhaps is a little bit of an influence on them.
Yeah, they're going to take chances and risks, and some drivers may even make last-second changes on their setups, which is either going to pay off for them or not pay off. Those are the only 2 choices they're going to have, and they won't know it until they put, 10, 11 laps on there if the decision they made for the setup changes is going to be productive or not.
So crucial to have a very balanced car here. This track, which I believe the pace truck this time around will be coming to 1 to go. I do believe. I don't see any lights on that pace truck. Mr. Flagman right there. Don't believe he's waving it. Yep, we got a couple wave arounds out front there, so the next time by we will be going back racing.
And again, starting on the lead here is going to be Caden Rush, and on the outside of him is going to be Andrew Melvin in the 37. We have Kyle Feimster in the 38. That's your pick to win. At least yours made it more than 1 lap. Brian Johnson in the 4. 78 of Sam Lear. And then we have the 3 of Eames. Jeff Hollingsworth is in the 97, and then 87 of Gregory Hectus. And Austin Bolke has moved up substantially from his starting position, and so has Chris Johnson. That rounds out our top 10. It's about ready to start this race all over again at lap 6, or across the line. It'll be lap 7.
And on this restart here, I would keep my eyes on that number 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. Starting in that P7 on the inside, he's got a very high I rating there, 4,700. So very talented driver there. So let's see if he can't make his way up through this field. Alrighty, the lights are off on the pace truck as they begin to all stack back up. Let's try this one more time. Al, what do you think? Drive truck's off, and we are back racing.
We go. Let's see if Caden gets a big leap like he did before.
Oh, we got another one going 3 wide in the middle. Gotta watch.
That's not a good idea.
Like you said, Al, patience is going to be key to this race, but every driver just trying to see what they can't do early.
We're going to notice most of the interaction with the wall and the accidents is going to be in the back. We're trying to get to the front. Clean air is crucial here. As you see, Kyle Feimster is trying to give him some of that clean air. He wants that lead. And he is going to the inside. Looks like he's battling drastically. He's going to stay to the inside. He might get Caden Rush. He's got him. He's got him. All he's got to do is hold it down there.
Yeah, very lucky.
He's got to back. Caden Rush has to back out. If he eats those tires up on that high line, he is going to drop from second way back.
Contact there. He wants
there was
to
a drag.
He's going to have a little give and take here. The more he stays up there, Al, like you said, another even more contact.
Sam Lear in the 78 come up and let him know, hey, I'm here. That's going to drop Caden down the curve.
Fortunately, he's able to find a spot there. Tucks in line there in P3. As your front, about 5. On your front 4 here, we got single filed out here. Just as I say that, Caden once again making a move for P2.
Yeah, he's going to use up his material. He is going to use it up.
Hey, use them if you got them. These first 10 laps, that draft is such a big impact. It's going to keep these drivers. You can't really drive away within these first 10 laps until you can get some kind of wear on these tires. And then that's when your setups are really going to show, see what people have underneath of them.
And speaking of setups, some of these drivers may have a long-term setup, which means they're going to be extremely patient for, like I said, 8, 9, 10 laps, and then their car is going to start settling in and come in. And these drivers that you're seeing, Kyle Feimster in 38 and Caden Rush in 15. Looks like Caden's going back on the inside. And we've got the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. He is peaking. He's waiting for those two up in the front there, first and second, to make a mistake, and he's going to capitalize on that mistake.
Kyle is not going to give it to him easy, though. You got that. Chicago is a progressive banking track, so you got more banking the higher you go, but the higher you go, the longer you have to take the longer way around, unless you're going to wear up more of your stuff.
As you see that, Chris, look at this. We have Jeff Hollingsworth in that 97, as you mentioned earlier. He is wanting to lead this race.
Oh, we got one down on the apron.
Oh, we have a caution. We have a caution. Yes, we have a caution, and that appears to be
I believe it's 78 of Sam Lanier.
Is it Sam? Yes, it is.
Lear. Apologize if I butchered his last name. English was not my strong suit.
Yeah, I believe he told us in an interview with him previously it was Sam Lear. The AR is silent. I don't know why they put it on there. Maybe they just had no other place to put it, so they threw it on the back. It looks like Sam's got some back-end damage there. Let's watch and see what happened to Sam. He's got anybody else involved in his incident.
It looks like coming through the tri-oval, he was down there on that apron. He may have just gotten a little bit sideways. Yep, he gets the grass.
Yeah, that's a vicious apron. Well, he almost caught.
No grip down there.
Yeah, he almost caught the 38 of Kyle Feimster, and he had to correct. And when he corrected, this is not a forgiving track. If you correct way too much, it will let you know it. And he comes back up on the field, and he does get rear-ended by the 25. So he does take a couple drivers with him. Austin Bolton, one of them.
And unfortunately, at a track like this, I feel like more damage towards the front end is going to be more harmful than getting the damage in the rear end there. So Austin
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out to
That
little
might
bit
have
on
just
the back
took
of his neck.
Austin's. It just took Austin's ability to win this race probably away from him, because I'm imagining he has damage that he cannot overcome from. Now we have just been told that Donnie Gatton, my pick of the race, has took the car to the garage. So I caused bad luck for Mr. Donnie. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
See it. Well, the 25 is coming out of pit road right now, so he's not going to give up quite yet. He's going to take a little bit of tape off that thing. He's going to come back fighting.
Yeah, but I don't. With that front end damage, these cars are so aero dependent at Chicagoland. That front end damage is good. You're going to see him being slow, depending on the amount of damage he had. But he had a pretty good. He stuck it, in the rear, pretty good of Sam. So I'm going to guess that there's a big impact on his front end.
I was just about getting to the point there where tires are going to make an impact, and as you saw there, getting down there onto that apron, your car isn't balanced to go down there. That back end can absolutely just kick out on you.
Well, Chris, let's see if it's my pick of the race. It's bad luck for these drivers, or if it just was a coincidence, just like the lottery. I can't win. I'm going to pick another driver. And if this driver goes out, okay, then I'm not going to pick another driver from this point forward. I'm going to put my money on the number. I'm going to go with 4, Brian Johnson. And I'm only doing that.
Not a bad pick at all. Very competitive last season. He's another one of those returners.
Yeah, I'm going to put my money on Brian Johnson and hope I don't give him bad luck like I did Donnie Gatton Jr. in the 9 car there.
I believe Brian Johnson, I believe he's running for Dark Horse Racing, if I'm not wrong. Very strong team this season.
Yeah, and I don't know what team he's running for. All I do is I've watched his previous races, and the patience that he shows makes me believe that he's going to be able to get this done, because he's not just the patience in these 15 laps during this race, but the patience from previous season when he ran. I was pretty impressed, and I do believe that, like I said before, with Donnie Gatton, it's my pick to win the race.
And Brian, I believe that was he had an absolutely fantastic race with Robbie last season when we were at Kansas at the final race of the season. Those two are able to go back-to-back for a good 10-15 laps. So he's definitely got pace underneath him. Just a matter of going.
I'm going to stick with Brian. Some people will say the only reason I stuck with a 4 is because that's as high as I can count, but I'm just saying Brian Johnson is my pick.
Not a bad one at all. Looking through the field, see what else we got. He was at the 68 of Mike Knight. Let me see here. That is the 68 of Mike Knight. Another driver up there above 4,000 in his rating for the season. So keep your eyes on him and come through the field. He's currently sitting in 12th. I believe that is where he started as well.
Well, Travis in the 55 Rolo, he's had made a tremendous gain through all these cautions. He's been able to avoid, he started 11th, and he's now sitting in P4. And let's not forget Isaac Barkley in that 94. He started 22nd. He is sitting in 7th presently. We have some big gainers here. We got Michael Shear in the 75. I
believe he's our biggest mover of the race thus far.
Yeah, 25th. He's in the top 10.
Isaac having a good run. Started 22nd up to 7th already.
Yeah, we have some good ones. Tyler Pluff started 34th. He's up to 18. He's in the 21 car. Stephen West he's another one that I watch for in the 74. He's made 13. He's went up to 19th from 26. But he's a dark horse as well. I'm not saying the team, but the way he patiently waits and picks off victims, that's what he's done in the past, and he's notorious for that.
Absolutely. And like you keep saying, patience is going to be key to this race. If somebody's going too hard, they can very easily just burn their stuff up, and they can come right back to you on the longer run.
Yeah, you can either have patience on this track or in the pits. It's up to you.
Absolutely. I couldn't say it better myself there.
We presently have 3 drivers that are a lap or more down. Sam Lear in a 78 is a lap down. Michael Doyle in a 12 is also a lap down. And my pick to win the race, and Donnie Gatton Jr., he had to take it to the garage early, and he is 14 laps.
On this restart here, we got Caden Rush, and right behind him is Gregory Hectus going to be picking up right where they left off there at Sonoma. So look at this battle here, especially with this draft on the restart.
And we have, in that restart, Kyle Feemster, he dropped way back. I think he got a piece of that accident that happened before, because he started second. He is down in 25th in that 38 machine.
All right, and the truck is off, and we are green again.
Here we go. We're 3 wide again, right off the bat. Right off the bat, and they're wrecking again already. The 37, he flips him. Let's watch that. Oh, the 37. Who did he flip?
I believe that was Isaac.
Oh, yes, that is the 94. The 94, he got really impatient. Isaac Barkley. He came up right off the start, made it 3 wide right away, right across the start-finish line, and he pinched himself right between Andrew Melvin and Charles Woods. And Andrew Melvin said, "Hey, I don't think so. Let's see what the bottom of your car looks like." And he did. He flipped him all over the place. Now, that definitely is going to end the race for Isaac, because he did some aerobatics that he's not going to be able to overcome.
It doesn't matter how much horsepower you got in your car. When it's up on its roof, it's definitely not going to go anywhere. But you can try once, get lucky twice. I don't think the third time was the charm for Isaac. He has been getting very good restarts every one of these here. But this one here.
Typically, we flip a coin to find out who's going to start, in what positions in other sports. Today, we're flipping cars. And let's not forget, we have Caden Rush in the lead, and in third place is Gregory Hectus. Last week at Sonoma, those two battled it out. And I do believe Gregory Hectus in the 87 became victorious, but Caden Rush did not give it to him. I mean, he was not letting him have it easy.
Especially at the end of that race, if you got parts hanging off of your car and still coming home in victory lane, you definitely worked for it.
Yeah, it was a tremendous race. And we have some drivers that I do believe they might have a blown engine. Who was that was on?
I believe that was Mike Knight in the 68.
We need to stop promoting drivers here, because all we're doing is taking the field out one by one. That wreck, it took out, one wreck took out your guy, one wreck took out my pick. My second pick, God, Brian, but may the force be with you.
I'm just going through the field here. I'm trying to find that 38 of Kyle. Where's he at there? Currently running back there in 18th. I don't know if he's there by choice or if he's just decided to bring it to the rear to avoid some of the carnage up front.
No, he was involved in that wreck with Sam. I mean, what Sam was, he was involved with that, and Austin Bolke. It was a mess. When we go 3 wide and we're only 20 laps in, that to me was kind of impatient. And this is the result you get when you have impatience. I said you have to be patient, and maybe they're not listening. But this is now we have 6 cars that are a lap or more down, and it's growing. We're only 20 laps in. I mean, we've got a long race here.
Well, fortunately for those cars that are in the pits currently, if they keep this up, they'll have plenty of time to recover.
Yeah. You may be correct. I mean, they may be slow. The slowest cars may win the race. Hell, it's the turtle and the hare. These turtles might win the race because the hares are going to be hairless. They'll be in the pits blown up.
And unlike the current Cup Series, just because you win doesn't guarantee you anything here. It's your cumulative points for the entire season. So every point coming towards the end of the season could lead you up to that cash prize.
Yeah, and you can't win a race if you don't finish. I mean, that's common sense. And these guys in the front are really getting impatient. Caden Rush is loving it. you know, Jeff Hollingsworth and Gregory Hectus, they're loving it. As long as all the tragedy can happen behind them, they'll be
Absolutely.
just fine.
If you're anywhere up there in that top 5, top 6, I think you're loving it. Any lap that ticks off is one less lap you have to fight somebody behind you. But anyone behind that, you know, into that 7th place down to that like 15th position, they're right in the middle of the woods there, all in the carnage around them. You know, we've seen cars go 3 wide, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody was 4 wide at some point in this race. But, you know, you got to have a little bit of give and take.
Yeah, we now see that Isaac Barkley, that went 3 wide right out the jump in that last restart that caused that melee, he's now took it to the garage. We're going to be going green this time by, Chris. And leading them back with caution. Number
We
3.
may be at 2 to go currently right now.
I don't see the lights on the truck.
We're in the special pace truck here at Chicago. They aren't as defined as the normal Mustang that we have here. As, yep, he's looking like he is staying out. We're going to run at least one more here under caution.
Well, that race, if this race continues to go like it is, they're going to probably park that pace truck and bring out a pace tow truck.
Well, the position he's sitting in right now, he's going to be earning that bonus point if they keep this up.
Yeah, we had a race last season where the pace car ran the most laps and
Well,
led the most laps in the race.
Also, on the other hand, this is a very track position oriented track. You know, track position is key here. Very hard to pass once we get up to speed. So every driver is just trying to take any advantage they can when these cars are just getting up to speed.
Yep, it's just like many of these tracks that are there. You have to have patience and pick your pass when it's safe enough for all drivers. And that's what we have to learn here is that if you force it in there, you're gonna end up wrecking yourself and somebody else. Pick your pass. These drivers will give and take. They'll give you something if they, instead of wrecking, they'll give it to you. But if you force your way in there, you're gonna take somebody else.
All right, we will try one more time again. Lap 23 coming to lap 24. Strategy from this point on, whether you decide to do the 1 stop or the 2 stop, will be very interesting. As Caden once again will lead us to the green. Green flag is out. And let's try it again.
Here we go. And we've got Caden Rush on the inside of Jeff Hollingsworth. Let's see, they're pretty clean, side by side. I haven't noticed that top line. It's helping, but it does appear like they're going to do a little switch. Caden Rush goes to the high side, and Jeff Hollingsworth goes to the low side. Jeff is going to use that side to take advantage of this and gain the lead coming off this turn.
This top 4 looking 2 by 2. That top pack of top 5 running away here a little bit at the moment, but that draft will inevitably catch everybody back up.
Yeah, and Chris, as you see, they dive down into the apron coming across the start-finish line. That can either benefit you or hurt you because there's a draft that can spin you around coming down there on that apron.
Absolutely. It's a very double-edged sword going down there. It is the shortest way around the circuit on the front stretch, but like you say, with no banking to support you, you are going to hurt your tires just that little bit more.
Yeah. And here we go. We got Jeff Hollingsworth is now a new leader in that 97 and second. Right on his bumper is Caden Rush. And we have Travis Rollo in that 55. He snuck up here. And remember, Travis started 9th. No, Travis started 11th, and now he's sitting in 3rd. That's somebody that has patience. But,
well, I don't want to jinx it too soon, Al, but we're looking a little bit calmer than a little bit of the restarts. Most of the field single filed out to about 15th back. As we got a side-by-side battle. I believe that's Kenny Powell back there. No, not Kenny Powell. I believe you got Kenny's in the garage, if I don't believe so. Who's that back there? For your front pack, everybody's single filing out.
Yeah, Kenny Powell is in. He is on the track. He is in position 18, so he's not doing too bad. The accident he was involved in, it doesn't appear like it hurt his car because he is coming to the inside of that 7 of Brian Pong, and he's going to take 17th position. And 16 is following right behind him. Clifton Cockrell in the 16. He's got the red. I don't see the sponsors on that. My vision way up here is just it's not that great, but it does look like the 7 is struggling a little bit of Brian Tom, but he is patient. He's letting him go by. The Milwaukee.
Just as we think everyone's single filing out, Caden once again looking back to the lead and takes it back in turn 1 that last time by. Will lead this lap here.
And this is exactly Gregory Heckus. If we look at the history from last week's race, he patiently sat back there, didn't use up his material, and then he came up and he smacked the leader right across the chops and took the lead. You know, and that's what we might be seeing with Gregory Heckus in that 87 machine, because he's not pushing the envelope. He's slowly riding back there with Brian Johnson in that 4. And he's waiting to see if these guys in front of him are going to make any mistakes.
As you got your about top 6 or 7 up there, all single filed out and pretty orderly. First battle back here is 74. And the 1 car, Aaron Tribble. Everybody else, as long as you're single filed out, you're able to use the most of the racetrack. You're going to be able to pull away from the first battle. It's side by side. And as
Speaking
I said,
of battle for the lead, we have Travis Rolone in 55 coming to the inside of Caden Rush. He wants to lead it through that too. They're coming on to a lap car. This proved to be very interesting.
that clean air is so important here. The more air that you have onto your car, the more grip that your car is going to be able to provide you. Looks like the lap car is going to be able to stay out of the way there for him.
Yeah, that's it. He goes low. So briefly, it's a 3-wide position, but that lap car can cause havoc. That's the 12. It's Michael Doherty. We are still side by side for the lead. Caden Rush in the 15 and Travis Rolone in the 55. And Jeff Hollingsworth is waiting to see which one of these guys are going to prevail. They come so close coming off that turn. And that, like we've seen previously, the high side is not where you want to be. You'll slowly start seeing Caden Rush. These tires are going to eat up, and he's going to watch that wall come closer and closer.
Well, he just managed to nose out that last lap for the take that one the last time by. But like you say, the longer you're up there, you are taking a long way around the track as we start to see him begin to fade. As we see 3 wide here potentially.
Yeah, we're about to see 3 wide. But we've seen Travis Rolone. He took the lead. And that dropped Caden down to 3rd because Jeff Hollingsworth in that 97 also moved up. Everybody on the inside is starting to move up slowly. And we have Brian Johnson. He's battling with the 87 of Gregory Heckus. And then we have the 2 coming in the picture. Christian, we have the Johnson brothers are coming up. Both of them are solid black cars. I can't honestly say they're related, but I always call them the Johnson brothers.
And don't count them out right now, but breaking back into that top 10 is my pick in the 38, Kyle Feemster.
Well, I have to be honest. I was going to ride that train. And I figured if I do that, I might show favoritism. But that would have been my pick. But I kind of believe that Donnie, being the patient driver that I know he is, and his ability to wheel this car at this track, I rolled my dice with him, and I think it caused him some bad luck.
I'm trying to look back through the standings. We did know that Kyle started back at least. I'm not quite sure if he was outside the top 20 or not, but he might have come in that last time and took in tires and gave him that little bit of an advantage against these drivers, perhaps.
Well, whatever damage he got, it doesn't appear like it's hindering him at all.
I tried to take a little bit of a look at his car. He looks pretty clean. If he got any damage on the front end, it would surely be hindering him, man. I haven't seen anything.
My pick of the race, Brian Johnson is fun, Jeff Hollingsworth.
We keep it straight and we will keep it green.
That put a hell of a gap between Travis Rolone and Caden Rush.
He's got to watch out for that second pack now as they're coming full head of steam. Because he's going to lose a handful of positions, at least 10 there.
Coming into the top 10 is it's like, Jeff Hollingsworth, he's losing positions left and right. He's got some damage in that 97 machine. We have Kenny Powell, who was involved in a wreck early on in this race in that 24. He's come into the top 10. So he definitely has damage, but it's not enough to hinder his ability to win this race.
Jeff on that incident falling all the way back to P11 and into that second pack. It's almost looking like we got two separate races going on, as we got one car going very high in 3 and 4. It looks to have it gathered up.
Yeah, these cars should start tightening up. And like I said previously, this wall is going to, coming out of this turn here, it's going to come closer and closer every time you come off that turn.
Again, the battle for the lead. Caden Rush and Travis Rowland. Neither driver wants to settle for P2. That clean air is so important here. Those two looking to be pulling away from the rest of the field here. If they can work together and get close enough, that draft can benefit the both of them.
Well, sneaking up here slowly but surely is that 96 of Jeffrey Smith in that Monster Energy machine. He's slowly picking them off one by one, so he's methodically picking which ones he wants to take out. We have another, where is Michael Eaves? He runs a pretty nice looking Monster Energy, and he is sitting in 16th, I believe, in that number 3 machine.
Right now, yes. That is a very nice paint scheme. I do fancy myself a Monster Energy. So I will say I'll take a little bit of favorites with him as well. Let me say this, the battle for the lead does not die, as we have another entering the fray, Gregory Hectus.
I told you, he's going to get up there. Him and Caden Rush, they seem to be, wherever one of them starts, the other one is not too far from him. And then you'll see during the race, they'll be battling together as they did last week.
It's funny to watch these drivers up towards the front. You know, it's all about a bit give and take here, and it seemed like those front two were pulling away from this entire pack, but as they battle side by side, they're just losing pace to everybody behind them.
Well, let's go into the in-car camera of Travis Rowland and see what he's doing inside that car. See if he's lifting or he saw that wheel. So hold on, let's take a peek here. We're inside the 55 of Travis Rowland, and he looks like he's not really abusing those tires, but you can see he's...
Oh, I'm sure it's a big old view with that number 15.
Yeah, he's got a rear bumper, that Flying Arrows 15 there, Caden Rush.
These Cup cars here, they are running the high downforce package, so he's got that big spoiler all right up in his face.
Yeah,
so
he's
not much of a sight to be able to see over that thing.
Travis is lifting quite a bit coming in these turns, so that means that Caden Rush, but he is seesawing at that wheel. His front tires are not going to take this abuse, so he better patiently calm it down, otherwise he is going to wreck that machine.
Well, what I like about this track a lot, Al, is as these tires start to wear, you can tell a lot about how the car is feeling just from a driver's hands. You know, if that driver's hands...
Yeah, he's pushing. Travis Rowland is pushing. You're going to see him meet the wall by accident here in a couple of laps. He is doing everything he can to keep it down towards that white line. Keep it away from that red wall. Let's see what our leader, let's take an in-car camera ride with Caden Rush and see what he's looking like.
Caden Rush just seems to be pulling away just a little bit now as he's able to stop fighting side by side, but if you look a bit further back the field, Kyle making a move for P3.
Yeah, it looks like Caden Rush in at 15 is pretty comfortable. He's not seesawing at the wheel. He's lifting a little bit. He's not pushing that much. And when I say that, he gets extremely close to that wall coming off turn 4. So we should start seeing cars meet these walls coming off these exits here shortly.
Kyle Feemster again moving up. I think he did take some tires on perhaps that last caution flag, and that may have just been the edge he needs to get up here right now. As we see, as Caden hasn't had to battle anybody, just the amount of gap he's been able to put onto this first pack of cars here.
Well, as we say that, Chris, let's go in-car camera with Kyle Feemster in the 38 and see how his car is handling. I mean, he moved himself up into second position again, right where he started. And we can, if you listen closely, you can hear the tires as they chirp going around this turn. And that'll tell you how much you're abusing.
You'll hear the tires, you'll hear the throttle play. There's a lot going on in these cars. As you see him getting into the corner here, there's a little bit of the wiggle, so that car is definitely rotating around for him. So he's not eating up too much of that front tire, it doesn't seem. Well, let's see in these next couple of laps here if he can't hunt down this leader of Caden. Caden's been putting on quite a show. He's led the most laps here.
Yeah, and Kyle Feemster in that 38, he's a wheel man. He is wheeling that wheel, and he's not jerking it back and forth. He is pretty steady on it, but he is, by listening, he is abusing them front tires, but he's lifting enough in these turns with the throttle and kind of getting the car to set before he gets back on the throttle. So I think he's going to preserve his tires longer than Caden is, and we should see Kyle Feemster come up and take the lead here in about probably 5 or 6 laps.
And everybody there is all single filed out all the way back to P7 of Brian Johnson. And I believe that is Michael as well with them, battling side by side there. I believe that's for P6. Travis is actually falling back now. Perhaps
well, if you look at our driver in the 4th position, Jay Felton in the number 8. He came from 19th to 4th.
19th, 4th. It's always a good day. He's definitely in the black.
Yes, he's definitely getting up there. And then we have a big mover, Michael Shear. He's in that 75. He started 25th, and he's 8th. Starting behind him is that sneaky guy, Stephen West, in that 74. Mr. Patient Pants himself. He just waits for everybody to eat the material up, and then he comes to the field. He's moved up 17 positions from 26th to 9th.
Behind him was Jeffrey Smith rounding out that top 10 there. And Jeff Hollingsworth down in P11, seems like he's having a little bit more of a recovery drive, still back there, finding himself in P11 after that contact in the beginning of this run here. And speaking of this run here, we are coming close to about a 25 lap run. I believe it went green around lap, it was like 22, 23-ish. So I believe you would have enough fuel to make it just on one stop here. So you're going to be looking for these drivers to perhaps be splitting this in half. I believe the fuel window is right around 63 to 64 laps, I believe is the most you'd be able to do on fuel. Any more than that, I don't think these drivers will be able to stretch out. The other question is, Al, do you empty the tank out on fuel, or what do you think the life of these tires is looking like for these drivers?
I think if they take this right to 1 gallon left, these tires, they stand a chance of them blowing. And if you blow a tire, you're definitely going to meet that wall. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We've got Caden Rush now. He's coming up on the lap car. I believe that is Austin Bulkey.
And if
Yes,
they
that's
want
Austin Bulkey in the 25, and Austin patiently gives him that position.
as we see lap traffic enter the fray here, you know, just about anywhere where you catch lap traffic isn't going to hurt you too bad. It's just you really do not want to meet them off the corner. You just need to use so much of this track to be able to save your equipment and carry the most momentum possible down these straights. Is crucial at this track.
Well, you're seeing that Caden Rush is in the lead right now, and he has a comfortable almost 0.7 of a second in front of Kyle Feemster.
We have a bit of more contact with Jeff Holster back in P11, the 97. He's getting a little roughed up on this run here today. He almost found himself in the inside grass.
There's somebody we haven't talked about all day, David Gervais in the 5 car. He moved from 32nd to 15th. He's moving on up. We have Craig Johnson. He's not moved that much in the 83. He's only came up like 11 positions, if you don't want to call that very much. We have some drivers making some heck of a gains here.
And as this run goes on, most of the field is all singled out. I don't see any side-by-side battles except for a couple of the drivers coming by some lap traffic here as we cycle back through the field. pretty calm here compared to these starts of these races. You just can see how much these drivers are trying to take advantage of those restarts.
Well, those tires, they're all settling in right now, so that they kind of know what they have and what they don't have, and they know that they can't finish this race if they don't finish the race. They can't win, you know, so they've got to be patient.
As a matter of fact, right now, the entire field is single filed out. You won't find a first battle until all the way back there for position number 19. You got a good three-way battle of Ron, Brian, and Dalton.
Yeah, that's another dark horse, Dalton Mobley. He's another one that patiently will sit there and wait and wait and wait, and he may have a long run setup underneath that car. So Dalton Mobley, in that number 77 machine, he's running for G&G. He's coming past. He's passing Ron. Is it Ron Holyfield?
And you know, as quickly as I say, these drivers find themselves back again, single filed out. I don't know if this is the calm before the storm, or if we're going to be able to perhaps even see some green flag cycles here.
We got the car that pulled out of off the track here to it's a 7 of Brian Tong. He's letting everybody by. He let Dalton Mobley by, and following behind him is Cecil Keith in that 32 light. Aaron Tribble in that one car. He's in that GSR paints. I'm not familiar with that sponsor. It might be a race team itself, is GSR.
Now, if these cars want to make it only in one stop, they'll at least have to go to lap 70, and that'll be very close on fuel. That'll be going to that maximum of 64 laps.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I do believe we're probably going to see some pitting going on in about 4 laps.
If you pit before four laps, you're going to be outside of the fuel window. That lap 70 is just going to be the earliest that these drivers are going to be able to pit. I believe we went back green. What was it here? 23? So about 64 laps from there. These drivers could potentially make it to 85, 90-ish, even if they're saving. So how far do you dare to go into that window? Do you stay out in hopes for a caution, or do you come in early and split the run?
Well, I do know that Caden Rush is hoping that people pit pretty quick, because Kyle Feenstra has took that lead that he had of 7/10 down to 4/10, and he is closing. So Kyle Feenstra in that 38, he kept his equipment underneath him. He just drove it. He's not driving it like he stole it. He's just driving it like he borrowed it, and he needs to return it in good condition or he loses his deposit.
Perhaps a bit of luck on Kyle's side. If he did come in and take tires on that last caution, he may just have that little bit of an advantage out here on this long run. And now if he did, you know, all he has to do, he's in a very good position. If you're gaining on the leader and your tires, if you took better care of your tires, you know, he doesn't have to be the first one on the pit road. He may be able to just sit right there and react to Caden.
Well, if everybody else if he did pit, let's theoretically say if he did pit, he stays out. Remember what fresh tires do here. So when you come back on a track with fresh tires, there's a good possibility there could be a wreck. Kyle Feenstra will take advantage of that.
And if you get a wrong caution at the wrong time, you can find yourself in 1 lap down, forced to take the wave around.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go, whoa, who is that? That's the 12. 12 causing a little bit of, that's at Michael Doyle.
Well, it was 2/10 last time by, and this time here is still about the same.
But in third position with Chris Johnson, he is 2.5 seconds back. So, Caden Rush, if they're watching the times, if they have the ability to watch times in their cars, they're knowing that they have a cushion of 2.5 seconds, almost 3 seconds behind them before Chris Johnson. They don't need to push their equipment.
Here hit pit road as James down here in the 17 is our first driver to hit pit road. I'm not sure if this is going to be too early.
I told you they're going to start coming in. This equipment is letting them down, and they've abused it trying to get as many positions as they can. You're going to find the ones that abuse their equipment are going to be pitting here real quick.
Perhaps trying to go for a bit of an undercut, but in order to do that, you have to fight to get your lap back before that caution comes out.
Oh, we've got a battle brewing here. Kyle Feimster in that 38. He is looking at Caden Rush, and he's not really pushing the envelope, but he's giving Caden Rush enough to be worried what is he going to do. And that could cause mistakes for Caden Rush. We have a lap car coming up, and I'm almost willing to bet that we're going to see Kyle Feimster dive to the inside and use that lap car as a pick.
All right, before we hit green flag cycles, we're going to hit it off and hit a little bit of a commercial here. We'll be right back after this.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
And before we went on the commercial break, we had been watching the battle with Caden Rush and Kyle Feimster. Caden Rush is now in the lead. Kyle Feimster is wanting that lead. They made it past the lap car pretty simple. The lap car kind of lifted and gave them away. But we have, here comes Speed Racer in the 43. He must be on fresh tires. He just comes. Oh, and he hit the wall.
Fortunately, he's able to keep that car straight there, and we stay green.
Oh, that is Paul Olsen. He had some fresh rubber.
Horse car.
Yeah, he wanted to take that car airborne.
He's very slow now. And like I said, you know, if you do fit in early going for that undercut, it is so crucial to get that lap back. You know, just pushing perhaps a little too much too soon. That'll be another thing as we see right now. So important to get this lap back. Otherwise, you'll find yourself trapped a lap down if a caution does come out. And you just give up any tire advantage that undercut would have given you.
We have Kenny Powell in the 24 machine. He's coming to pit road. And he locks him up. Boy, he almost got a speeding penalty. And that's another thing you have to worry about green flag race, pit stops. You could get a penalty. And that's the worst thing you can get. Coming off of pit road, it looks like we have one coming off pit road right now as Kenny Powell gets his 24 machine serviced.
Lots of cars coming down.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to run this thing
70.
past 70.
I'll tell you what, Al, I might just have my luck sorted out here. I said lap 70. Lap 70, a lot of cars coming.
Yeah, but again, let's watch Kenny Powell off pit road and see how squirrely he gets. He's obviously going to have a lot more speed. He's going to be roughly about a second and a half faster than those guys on older tires.
And Caden in the 15 down on pit road, and he's out and away. Let's see where he comes out and compared to Kyle. Is he coming down on the apron right now?
And that's going to move to 75 of Michael Shear in his second place. But there is a very long gap between Kyle Feimster and the 75 of Michael Eames. There is almost a 9-second gap between those two.
Kyle's still electing to stay out, and I don't know if this is necessarily a bad call or a good call. Perhaps he's trying to stay out in case we get save a little bit of fuel for green, white, checkered even.
Yeah. I believe he's playing it smart, and there's a caution. Because if their caution comes out right now, he's gonna put a lot of cars a lap down. Presently, there's only 9 cars on the lead lap. And I am watching the 24 of Kenny Powell right now, and he is eating this field up. He's coming through the field like, he wants to lead this race, but he's a lap down. So he's going to get up there to try to get his lap back.
Well,
Will he use up his equipment to get there? That's the problem.
every lap that Kyle is staying out now is effectively time that he is losing to Caden. Caden only less than half of a backstretch right behind him, about to get his lap back. Does Kyle come in this time by, or does he stay out for another? He's looking like he's electing to stay out.
And let's watch some of these. Let's watch David Gervais in that 5 car and see how he's letting these lap cars go by, because he knows his equipment is, you know, it's been used up, and he doesn't want to cause a caution.
Well, just as you said, Al Caden just unlaps himself coming by Kyle this time here.
Oh, David Gervais, he locks it up trying to get on pit road, and he is just made it on the pit road. It was like a last minute
going there.
Yeah, he just made it in. I didn't think he was going to make it.
If you hit that cone, it is a very harsh penalty.
Yeah. So Caden Rush is now in 5th position, and Caden Rush is he was 13 seconds behind the lead.
Caden that last time by running a 30.181 compared to Kyle's 32.85. So effectively over 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds faster pace-wise compared to Kyle.
Yeah, but he is 30 seconds behind Kyle.
But Kyle still has yet to come in the pit, and he will have to do that at some point.
But if this is a genius move in my opinion, because what he's doing is he's using up all his material. We still have 50 laps left in this race. So if he allows Caden Rush to use up his material to get back to the front, and it takes him 7, 8, 9, 10 laps, and then if Kyle pits, he'll have 10 lap fresher tires, and he'll be able to do just the same thing. And then what is the end of the results? It's going to put Kyle Feemster to the win.
It's just going to end up coming down to the amount of laps that Kyle gives himself to make that chase back up to Caden. Because I would say at this point, effectively right now, your standings would be Caden, and then Jeff is right behind him. Jeff has yet to unlap himself in the 97 car. But I do not know if Jeff has pit in yet.
Yeah, presently we only have 5 cars on the lead lap.
Only 5, that being a Marty Waller, Tyler Puff, Tommy Amos, and Caden Rush. These drivers, the 3 who have yet to pit, I believe Tommy Amos, Tyler Puff, and the top 4, that is, all electing to stay out, perhaps hoping for that caution.
Yeah, well, Marty Walters in a 511, he has got, and there's that caution.
There it is, and that is a lot of cars trapped down. Everybody from position number 6 all the way down is all at least 1 lap down.
Well,
So,
we have a lot of
just as-
races left, you know,
just
so
as you
even
were
though they're going to
saying,
be a lap down, we'll be fine.
Just as you were saying, Al, just the gamble does pay off for Kyle and all those people in the top 4.
Yeah. Well, Kyle could have used about 4 more laps and then that caution. Right now, we still have, 50 laps. And I would dare say that after we get this waiver round, this isn't the last caution. We've probably got 2 more cautions in us. So I think before the end of this race, we're going to see a battle between Caden Rush, Kyle Feemster, and my pick of the win, Brian Johnson. But we can't count out some of the other drivers up here, because we know if we look, Tyler Pluff started 34th. He's in 2nd because he stayed out. Marty Walter in 511 started 35th and he's 3rd. So they pit right now and they come back out. They're going to be in the top 10. Let's see what they can do when they get up there. Everybody's pitting. Looks like Kyle Feemster comes in. Tyler Pluff comes in.
I believe your lucky dog will be the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. Got a little bit beat up on that last run, but is able to find himself in the position to get the lucky dog.
Jay Felton in the 8th is rounding out the top 7 here.
Coming out of pit road, Kyle easily out. He had a couple lap cars trapped in between them there.
Yeah, it looks like Kyle Feemster is running that.
You have Marty coming out P. Ooh, Clayton does come out P3rd, followed by Tommy Amos in P4.
Tommy had a great pit stop.
You know, that's crucial for Clayton now on this restart to get that inside line.
We have a lot. I mean, we have. What do we have? I mean,
It looks like everybody from position number 6, Jeff got the lucky dog, so everybody from position number 7 all the way down to position number 24 was a lap down. It's about 18 cars getting the wave around this time by.
Whew. That's great. It's great news. That means we're going to have some people in the back that are going to have to race their way to the front. And that, if we're not patient, will cause another caution. Yeah, we do have some talent coming from the back to the front. And that's going to start with Jay Felt in that number 8 machine. Now, some way, somehow, Brian Johnson, my pick to win, it was stuck a lap down. He must have pitted there.
Now, Jay Felton, for me, is looking like he came in the pit around lap 71, so one of the earlier ones to hit pit road. So he's forced now to stay out on that wave round. So you're going to have a varying group on various different wears of tires as they come around here. So this is going to be a very interesting restart.
Well, that's going to play well for Jay Felton in that number 8 for about 5 or 6 laps because he's on worn tires. But he's gonna start getting tight when everybody else is just starting to get even. You know, so he's gonna start falling back when somebody threw a boat anchor out.
It was very crucial, like we said at the beginning of this race, those first 10 laps, when you have the draft, you're pushing those tires extra hard. That's when you're pushing the tires when they're absolutely fresh. If you already have put that amount of wear onto those tires, I wouldn't like those odds if I were in that seat.
Well, we've got some new faces up here going to start this race. That's at 5'11" of Marty Walford in that U.S. Chrome. He's got that, it looks like maybe silver and red or white and very dirty. Or red and very dirty white, I must say. But this is a new thing for Marty. Can he handle this pressure? We got Tyler Crawford up here as well in that 21 machine. Let's see how they perform. Tommy Amos in 28. Somehow he came out second, but now he's starting 6th. I don't understand what happened to that.
Well, as the lights go on with this pace truck, we do have at least 2 more to go. Let's see if they don't start to get the wave around this time when they get at the line.
Yeah, we still have 4 cars 1 lap down. The rest of them are 2 or more laps down. We do have, I believe, we've almost got a dozen cars that are in the garage. We've got, matter of fact, half a dozen cars are in the garage.
And that is it. Lights are off on the pace truck as they do start to file off around.
Here we go. We're going to have on the inside is going to be Kyle Feemster in the 38, and then we have the 5'11" of Marty Walters on the high side in the lead there with Kyle. In the second row, we're going to have Caden Rushing at 50. He's going to be right behind Kyle Feemster, and on the outside will be Tommy Amos in at 28. I can pretty much guarantee you we're going to see Caden Rush stuck to the bumper of Kyle Feemster.
Absolutely, and still when we come here to the green flag, going to be coming to lap 85, so you still have about 50 laps to go in this run. You do have to take care of these tires.
That 28 of Tommy Amos, is that Haviland paint scheme? Isn't that one of the Burton paint schemes? The Burton boys ran that?
I believe that is, yes. I believe it was Jeff Burton.
And we're going to have to start here, and it looks like Kyle Feemster got a heck of a jump, and it looks like Caden kind of laid back a little bit, but he's going to get up there with him.
Caden is going to be able to follow him through as your front 4 gets single file. First battle back will be that 28 of Tommy Amos. And you got that. Is that number 3 of your Monster Energy that we were talking about? No, it's the 96 of Jeffrey Smith making a move now on the 28 of Tommy Amos, heading into turn number 3.
And we have 5 is up there. I believe he is still a lap down. That's David Gervais. He's battling up there with my pick to win, Brian Johnson. And that could prove to be very dangerous as Brian dives low. And he's trying to get around. I believe this is Jay Felton in 8. And when you see one Johnson brother, you see the other one not too far behind. Here comes the 2.
Oh, we got the lead here, the 38 of Kyle Feemster. Battling on the outside is Caden Rush. Almost contact coming out of turn number 4.
Oh yeah, and he took it away from him with a manpower. He manhandled him.
Kyle absolutely had to get out of it, or else he would have gotten into the back end of Caden. He's a good bit of position here. Now we'll see if on that last run, if Kyle didn't have tires, or maybe he has the car.
Well, as we've seen, Kyle's car, he's got a long run setup underneath him. So he may be doing that cat and mouse thing. He may let Caden Rush believe he's doesn't have much for him, and Caden's going to be trying to eat up his material, trying to get as far away from Feemster, knowing that he has a long run car. And this might play right in Kyle Feemster's hands. At 38 he's a technical driver. I mean, he's not going to give you a position if he doesn't know soon down the road he can take it back. So I do see the battle is going to be going on again between Caden Rush and Kyle Feemster.
That is very true, and even on that last run, as Kyle was able to catch the 15 of Caden, he wasn't able to put the pass on him on the track. Only he was able to assume the lead via the green flag pit stops.
Well, you know, you only have to lead one of these laps to count. That's the last one. So it might be a situation where we're going to watch the 38 of Feemster. He may be saving his material. He may think to himself, you know, we got 35, 36 more laps left of this race.
Yeah, he may just be lying back to get his car into a little bit more of clean air. If you're right up onto the bumper of the car in front of you, that will absolutely take the air off of your car and push you up the track, and cause you to wear out more of your material than what you need to.
Yeah, I am extremely, and I said this probably more than I probably should have, but that 5'11" of Marty Walter, and that he's in at 5'11", he started 35th. He is steadily staying in 3rd position. He's not catching anybody. He's not getting caught. He's staying there. Now, if he takes care of his equipment, 3rd is a whole lot better than 4th, 5th, or 6th. So he may want to stay there.
If you want to talk about a comeback story, we got the 97 coming back into the picture. Jeff Hollingsworth had a couple of incidents on that last run and is able to find himself back up into the 4th position.
As we come past the lap car, that 25, and I believe it's Austin, and he's got no front end. 25 of Austin Bulkey. His front end is missing, and that's hurting him dramatically. He's gonna
caught off in one of those incidents very early in the race.
Yeah, he had a rear end. He met somebody by accident. And now we just have a half a second gap between the leader, Caden Rush, and Kyle Feemster. And it does look like the 97 is coming low, and he is going to take 3rd away from Marty.
And a little bit of give and take there between Marty.
Well, don't look too close back, because we got Tyler Pluff. Looks like he's coming up too.
And most of our top 10 here is out single filed all the way back to Tommy Amos. And going back through the field here, I don't see a battle. We do have a slow car here. The number 10 of Ben Quimley Jr. He's slow on the apron on the backstraps. Perhaps a problem with that machine there.
Yeah, he is down 15 laps, so he might have been caught up in one of those accidents before, and it's kind of hindered his car a lot here. We only have 22 cars on the lead lap presently, which is got 15 cars a lap or more down.
Well, other than that, we most of the field again back to single file. So we may again just get that another long run here as we see Kyle again closing in now on Caden.
Yeah, he's brought that gap down to 1/10 of a second. And he's going to put the pressure on Caden because all he has to do is get enough draft behind him to push that rear end up into the wall. Now that could backfire. He could spin him right in front of him, but he doesn't technically have to touch him. He can use the draft to put enough wind in that rear end to pick it up and get him loose, and then he'll take that position from him.
Well, you see Kyle making a move to the inside into turn number 1. He was side by side. He's got his inside positioning now against Caden. Caden will have the extra banking coming off turn 2 to fight him for it. He will. He'll stay side by side heading into turn number 3. Kyle, though, with him positioning, that lap car in front could be giving a little bit of aero push.
Yeah, Caden is seeing that lap car, and the lap. Oh, we're gonna go. Oh,
Just
basically.
a little bit of 3 there. Each driver respecting each other's spacing. Very good racing up here.
That was a great courtesy from Michael Doyle in that 12 car. He could have easily stayed in his line and caused a lot of friction between those two battling.
And now again, they're still side by side heading back into turn number 3 with Caden squeezing really down and trying to get everything he can from Kyle into these corners. But the longer he's staying up there,
he spun him. He spun him.
Contact.
Yes, he did. And that was, I mean, Ray Charles could have seen that coming. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it looked to me like Caden had came down and spun it. Let's watch that replay. Let's go back and watch that replay and watch the incident. It could have been.
Well, the 15 of Caden is trying to get every little bit he can off of him coming off of turn 3.
Let's see if Caden caught the wall, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it's wall. I think he's just anticipating Kyle coming down to cut that apron. Kyle just doesn't go down to cut the apron as anticipated. The 15 just gets into the back end of the 38. And unfortunately here on the scanners, the 38 of Kyle is blowing up on his motor. The motor's going to be no good after that. Fortunately, that's going to bring an end to the 38's race.
Oh, now let's go in-car camera with Caden on that accident. And let's see if he intentionally turned or if it's just something here. No, it does not appear like Caden turned him on purpose. It kind of looks like Feimster might have came up. But that still is going to hinder Caden Rush's ability in this race because he has some excessive front end damage.
Absolutely. It just looks like a little bit of a racing incident there. One driver trying to anticipate what another's going to do, just leading to contact.
Yeah, yes. And that's kind of, it looks like it was a racing incident. It didn't look like anything intentional there. It looks like maybe a draft kind of pulled Kyle down a little bit there. At first, when I watched it, from the back of the view, it kind of looked to me like Caden had came down on him and spun him out. But after I watch it from in-car and see that Caden never turned the wheel, it appears to me like Kyle had came down on him and, you know, he went airborne. But I do want to give Kyle Feimster a 10 for that phenomenal landing. I mean, he stuck that landing. I mean, he never lifted. He did about 19 turns in the air, and he perfectly landed that car. I'm going to give him a 10.
Alrighty, and now back to an all too familiar sight of being under caution here. Now the question is, with that damage on the front end of the 15, does anybody else have anything for him?
Boy, Kyle had seen, he only did 4 turns, but he had seen the fans up close in that wreck. And Kyle took that unit to the garage. That 38 is done for the day. Well, the only good news is that your pick to win the race lasted a whole lot longer than my pick to win the race. So I was offered the opportunity for a second pick. Who is your pick to win the race? It's not Caden Rush.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do like a comeback story, so I'll take the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. He's already been to the back of the pack a couple times today. He's got into a little bit of early trouble and still finds himself back in position 2 right now.
Yeah, I don't know why Kyle had took it to the garage. It must have been a call by his crew chief saying that there's just too much damage. Or he might have thought that he wouldn't, he'd be more of a hinder on the track than a benefit.
Oh, yeah.
Way.
I'd just about say anytime you're 4 tires up in the air, you're not in for a good time when you come and hit the ground.
No, he might have a little bit of elbow bruising or something going on there. But I do believe he'd be my pick for the race on the sticking the landing. We've seen another car go airborne before, and he didn't really stick the landing. We had Kyle Feimster. He stuck all 4 wheels and was able to drive it back on the pit road.
All right, as we head around here, should be 2 to go this time by, coming around here 1 to go. Let's get these drivers back under. As the 90 does get the wave around, we will be at 1 to go currently.
We do have some drivers up here, like I said, that started in the back of this field, and that might have been the good call for a lot of these drivers. We have Marty Walters, like I said, started 35th. He's in 3rd. We've got Tyler Pluff. Tyler Pluff started 34th. He is in 4th. Tommy Amos, 15th, he started 15th. He's in 5th. Michael Shearer in the 75, he started 25th, and he is in 6th position. So a lot of the drivers that are in the top 10, they start in the back of this field. They let everybody beat their equipment up. But we don't have, what do we have, 34 more laps?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be just over 30 laps. Going to be coming to lap 103 as they come. I say it is just about go time for these drivers.
Yeah, we're going to see some pushing and shoving and some more wrecks. I mean, this is, if we have 15 cars on the lead lap at the end of this race, I would be shocked.
As the pace truck brings him out of turn number 4, he will make that turn off. Again, back in Clayton's hands, and we are again under green.
Yeah, Caden got a heck of a jump that time. He is walking away from it, and Marty Walter in that 511 is going to follow right behind him and try to get second position from Jeff Hollingsworth. 21 Tyler Pluff is in there too.
97 Jeff Hollingsworth will find himself on the outside on this restart. If he can't clear that 511, he may just be hung out to dry up there. He will clear him down into turn number 3.
Yeah, I dare say, in this stretch, you don't want to be on that high side.
Oh, he got one spinning towards the back of the field, was able to gather it up. That was the 74, Stephen West. That car had to at least have been 45 degrees sideways.
That's them new tires. It's that, not like a new car smell, it's a new tire smell. Nothing smells better than when you burn them off when you're going out of turn 2 because you got into it too quick.
As we see our top 3 start to string out here. Our first battle isn't until 4th place. But we do see that damage is absolutely affecting Caden.
Oh, look at this. They are heating it up, boy. We go all the way down, and we start the battling right around Tommy Amos. We got Jay Felton in the 8, Chris Johnson in the 2, and it is just like a hornet's nest. These guys they're making their moves. Kenny Powell sneaks up in here. And Kenny Powell is riding the coattails of Travis Rolone, and there is somebody up there, Dalton Mobley. He comes up like he is on fire.
3 wide coming across the stripe this time.
That's where the battling is. We're just tearing it up. Dalton Mobley, looks like all of a sudden he found a gas pedal. All this time he didn't know he had one. He just all of a sudden found it, and he is pressing. We still have a side-by-side battle with Dalton Mobley and Kenny Powell. Looks like it's Gregory Hectus. There's our Gregory Hectus coming back through the field again. He's trying to get to the front. Tommy Amos at the 28. He's coming up. He's pulling along. 17th, James Colby. He's still trying to work himself around the 74th Stephen Rush. And this is all a battle for like 12th, 13th, 14th, and 50th. This is where the most excitement's going on. In the front, we have a battle for the lead as well. It's like Jeff is closing in.
I believe Jeff had a little bit of a look going to the inside into turn number 3, not quite there. Again, he elected to stay up off of that banking, maybe going to carry a little bit more speed through the tri-oval.
And this battle in front of Marty is exactly what Marty wants to see, Chris, because if those two get involved in it, he may not have the fastest hot rod, but you don't have to have the fastest hot rod to win the race. You just have to finish.
All he needs is for those two drivers to get side by side. If they can do that, you will absolutely slow yourself up just enough for any driver back there. The top 5, anyone's in the picture there.
Yeah, it's getting to be a heck of a battle from first all the way down to
97 has a little bit of a run, peaks to the inside, not quite there. Caden shuts the door on him.
If we look through this field all the way from first to 20th, it's a half a second or better between each position. So these drivers are giving it all they got. Caden Rush got extremely close to that wall coming out of turn 4, or coming out of turn 2. I mean.
Using every little bit of the racetrack. That car has a little bit of damage on the front end of that nose. It's definitely going to affect the top speed coming to the end of the straights of that car. So he has to use every little bit of the track he can coming out of these corners. Seems to be pulling a little bit away from him. Last time by, it was just about 1.5 tenths. This time, just over 2.5 tenths.
Most drivers are not using that front apron, off that front stretch. They're staying off of that in fear that the wind is going to catch them. We got the 55 of Travis Rollo. He is battling with the 21 back here. He wants 11th position, and he's going to get it. Side by side is 82 in front of him with Craig Johnson, with the 40 of Charles Woods, and that's for 9th and 10th. And it looks like Chris Johnson may get that. And bring right along with him the 55 of Travis Rollo on the inside. The inside line, Chris, appears to be the preferred line.
Travis did have a very good short run on that first green flag run that we had. He had, but quite fell off towards the end here. We only had 30 to go and we restarted here, so that might just be a good window for him to gain a couple more positions. As he finds himself here on the outside, and see if he can't carry momentum out there. As they are still side by side. Oh, very aggressive move there by Travis in 55. As they come up onto a lap car, going to be 3 wide. A little contact.
Yes.
I don't think Travis knew he was quite 3 wide there with the lap car. Both those cars going to be receiving a bit of damage. They're still 3 wide, potentially even 4 wide. No. They're going to stay 3. Lap cars are definitely coming into the fray here.
Yes, that's a big problem. Let's go back to the front back. Let's set my pick to win this race. My second pick to win this race. Brian Johnson had just took the 2nd position away from Jeff Hollingsworth, and he is gaining on Caden. So before I jinx him, I just want to say, go get him, Brian.
Well, the separation when he made that pass was just over 8 tenths of a second. This time by, we'll see if he can't close that gap. He's definitely in the draft, and we see definitely has a cleaner nose than Caden does. This time by the stripe, he gained 2 tenths of a second, so he's definitely.
Yeah, we have a caution. We have a caution.
Yeah, caution is out.
Who did this spin? Where did our caution go?
Seemed to be around 55 of Travis.
Yes, it was Travis Rollo. He seemed to be. Did he meet somebody by accident? Oh, we had a bunch of them in that. Looks like the
40 of Charles Woods gets the wall coming out of turn 4, and those drivers behind him have to check up.
Oh yeah, heck of a mess there. I told you that wall is going to play a factor in this race.
Unfortunately, some late people into that wreck as well.
Yeah, Charles Woods caught
Michael
that.
Doyle getting into that late.
Travis had to check up. And when Travis checked up, it got to 74 a little squirrely. He cuts down to avoid all this mayhem going on here. And that's a smart move for him. But the 16 stays in it. He is going to get... Did he make it through? Yeah, he makes it through, but 55 Travis, he never lifts. He stays in it. And when he does that, he just loses it. Between him and the 40. 40 just loses it. He just could never correct it. Charles Woods and Travis Rowland, they cause all this.
Everybody down on pit road here now.
Yeah, it looks like
See,
Kenny
it's a very
Powell.
big battle. Brian is right on the back of Caden as they come in.
Oh, it looks like we're going. I'm watching it slow motion here, and it looks like everybody made it through. Kenny Powell, Dalton, Tommy Amos, they all snuck by this wreck that was going on here as they did synchronized crashing.
Caden on that pole position pit box pays off for him there. Definitely beats Brian off pit road by a long shot.
Well, I dare to say the 40 and the 55, they're done for the day. I mean, they continue to hit each other non-stop down the front stretch. And the 55 of Travis Rowland did a phenomenal burnout all the way, almost completely down the front stretch with his front end stuck to the wall. He crabbed all the way down the wall. Great. There's been some great wrecks. There have been some fantastic wrecks.
Well, Al, now let me ask you something here. If we go back all the way to lap number 1 of this race, I don't believe that 24 car, Kenny Powell, was not any less than 90 degrees sideways going into the wall. He's currently leading this race.
Well, anything can possibly happen. That is my last year's Patriot Pirate. I called him a Patriot Pirate because he steals the booty. You know, he's going to take it. If he gets an opportunity to win this race, he's going to take it. And he's got a pretty fast machine. I thought the damage that he had in the front of it was going to hinder him, but he proved me wrong. Just like my pick to win this race with Donnie Gatton proved me wrong.
He definitely has a very pushed up front end. It's not what I would say aerodynamic whatsoever. So we'll see. He's maybe just trying to pull out whatever he can from this early goings of this race.
Oh yeah, Kenny has, just like in previous races, he barely has a front end. Yeah, so I don't foresee Kenny Powell staying on the lead there for long. But let's take a peek at Caden Rush's front end and see what his front end looks like.
Well, it's very interesting now. If Kenny Powell does stay out here, that will give Brian Johnson the inside line and put Caden at a slight disadvantage of having to line up side by side on these restarts. It is the leader's discretion on when to go. They don't have to wait for the green flag. As soon as that pace truck makes that left turn onto pit road, that 24 can go at any time. And Brian will have a much better view of the bumper of the 24 than Caden may be able to see. And that may play into our finish.
Well, we also have to keep in mind the move why Kenny Powell is leading this race, because this is a championship points race, and every lap you lead as the leader gets you some extra kudo points, you know. So he may not finish, you know, first, second, third, or fourth, but he's going to get extra points for leading this race.
Absolutely. Any person who correct me if I have this wrong, but I believe it's any person who does lead a lap does get a bonus point for leading a lap. So maybe that is just, you know, what the 24 is just trying to do is just do it. He's thinking about the bigger picture here.
Yeah, he may be, and you may see him, he may just give the lead back to Caden, which that could hinder Brian Johnson's ability for the draft. But I don't think Brian's going to let Kenny give up so easily. He's going to be on his bumper. And if Kenny doesn't get it moving, his rear end will look like his front end, because Brian Johnson will push it up. But let's not forget Jeff Hollingsworth is in this picture as well. We have some drivers that want to win here.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be very interesting on this restart as the lights go out on this pace truck here, because if Kenny Powell doesn't have full RPMs and full horsepower on that motor, Brian Johnson, I don't think with this many laps to go, it's going to be 14 at the line. You know, coming into turn 1, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't stick his nose down 3 wide.
Well, everything to the win. Throw caution to the wind. We've got drivers up here, that came deep in the field to the front, and they want to win as well. We've got Brian Johnson's in that. Craig Johnson's in that. Tyler Pluff is in here. We've got Michael Eames is back up in the picture. Marty Walters, Michael Shearer, Jay Felton. They all want to win this race, and they've come a long ways to get up front here.
Well, I'll tell you what, with the risk being there'll be a little bit more of a reward at the end of the tunnel for this season here. These restarts may come down to what those drivers are going to end up earning towards the end of the season. So we will see here on this restart just how aggressive everybody's going to be. You see Brian is laying back here, giving himself a little bit of a gap as that truck turns off, fields in the 24th hands, and he goes, and he's away. Caden does get a good start on the outside, and he looks like he will duck to the inside.
Yeah, that just gives Caden a little bit, but Brian is he's going to take that inside line. Kenny is going to get...
Now here we go as we get up to speed.
Oh,
Here we go. Get 3 wide.
And he backs off of it, and it puts Brian in second, allowing it.
3 wide.
Another caution, another caution.
Not work out.
Please tell me that wasn't that 24 Kenny Powell that caused that caution.
Oh, it looked like it was the 97 and the 8 and the 24 all combined going there into turn 3.
Well, that's
Dave Felton and the 97.
Well, I hate to say this, but remember I said Kenny Powell's rear end is going to look like his front end? It does. It does. So maybe starting up there was not worth the extra points because it looks like he's put him out of the race. He's done. 24th Kenny Powell is going to have to take that to the garage because it looks like he is toast.
Yeah, it looks like they are 3 wide with Brian Johnson going into turn 3, and as they enter the corner, perhaps that 97 got the 2 wide call, but just as he gets the 2 wide call, Jay comes in to fill that spot down there on that white line.
Well, it does look like Jay he kind of demanded some real estate that wasn't available at the time. He came down, it looks like he came down on Kenny Powell, and this caused the melee. We're doing some irrational racing here, and it keeps pushing him. So that was, I'm going to call the fault of that of the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. Either he came down purposely or he lost a little control of his vehicle and came down. Either way, he was the procuring cause of that wreck.
I just don't think it was a matter of him knowing they were quite 3 wide when they were entering the corner. Perhaps maybe he was anticipating the 24th Kenny Powell to back out of it because of the damage to his vehicle. But this late in the race, I wouldn't be betting on anybody to back out of anything.
Well, the loser on that one is going to be the 2. Looks like he just plows Kenny Powell. Chris Johnson, he just catches him and spins Kenny right up into the wall. Let's see if he makes it through there and doesn't get involved in Kenny Powell's spinning. Kenny keeps it against the wall pretty well. Doesn't take out any more drivers, it appears. So everybody kind of makes it through. Great car control, or great crash control from Kenny Powell in that 24. But then we have my infamous Tommy Amos comes up, and when Kenny just feels like, oh, nobody else is going to hit me, Tommy reminds him, I'm still on the track, I'm going to take you out.
Do a quick look here at the points from last race from Sonoma. Caden did finish second in the last race with 43 points. To see where the 87 of Gregory Heck is going to finish, he's only there in the top 10, so this will be a very interesting how the points add up after this race. those two will definitely be much closer if Caden does end up getting those extra bonus points for this race.
Well, I don't think we're done with cautions. I don't think we're done with cautions. I think we're going to see some cautions. And I know that Brian Hollingsworth caught some damage off that wreck of Kenny Powell. And if he's not careful, the 75 of Michael Shear, who has 0 damage, is going to come flying past him and pull along Marty Wolf.
Tell you what, Brian has done a very good job of keeping his car clean throughout the night. He's been had a bit of an up and down day. I haven't been talking much of him towards the front of this pack, but he does manage to find himself P2 in these closing moments here.
Well, typically when I watch these races and broadcast, I always see a Johnson somewhere in the top 10, whether it's a Craig Johnson, a Chris Johnson, or a Brian Johnson.
Tell you what, that's a great thing to see here too. I believe 2 of them are brothers and 1 of them is their uncle. So you got a whole you got the Johnson family out here tonight.
Yeah, this is a Johnson family reunion. Now, wouldn't it be spectacular to see a Johnson first, second, and third race finish? We're not too far away from seeing that because that Craig Johnson in that 83 is in 8th position. And right in front of him, Chris Johnson in number 2 is in 7th. So they just had
2nd, 7th, and 8th respectively there.
Yeah, we could possibly see first, second, third Johnson, Johnson, and Johnson.
I don't think you can say that. I believe that's a trademark, Dal.
I know Johnson and Johnson trademark. I think that's some kind of a baby butt white paste or something. I don't know what it is. But Johnson, Johnson, and Johnson is not trademarked yet. If this race finishes out like it has the potential to, we can trademark the Johnson, Johnson, and Johnson.
There we go. We'll have that for the next year's race, the Triple Johnson 200.
Yeah, this is a Triple Johnson 200. It's a family reunion. They all met at the front of the pack.
Tell you what, though, it will be a very interesting start. We'll have less than 10 laps to go with Caden still having that little bit of damage. We'll see how that affects him now with Brian being that much closer now. I didn't quite see when that caution flag came out how much of a gap he was able to close on the Caden. But right now, less than 10 laps to go. Strap her in. It's do or die here at this time.
Well, let's not put out of this race Gregory Heckus in that 87. He is sitting right now in 10th position, and that's only 9 cars in front of him. Watching his performance from last week, I think he's got a good chance to get up there and kill our Johnson, Johnson, and Johnson dreams. Here we come back to the restart. It's a Caden Rush in the 15s on the inside. Brian Johnson before on the outside.
Brian on the outside. He's laying back a little bit more than what Caden was on the previous restart. He may be putting himself at a little bit of a disadvantage doing that if he doesn't get up there wheel to wheel with them.
He's hoping Jay Felton is not as fast as he thinks he is, and it's a great restart.
There he goes. And Jay Felton's still on his inside here for Brian Johnson. Those two are now going to have to battle. As we look back, 3 wide going into turn number 1 behind him. As they keep it 3 wide off of turn number 2, they're going to make it work. It's continuing 3 wide down into the backstretch. They're pushing each other here.
It's a crossover move, Chris. Brian Johnson in that Ford just had to get his tires underneath him, and he went ahead and put second back. He's just got a little bit of a travel to get up there to Caden Rush. I can't believe Caden Rush is keeping the lead as long as he has with the damage that he has. It must not be that tragic.
Brian is definitely closing down on the straights. As you see, Caden will go defensive here, making Brian have to take the long way around. Will he do it? Almost into the back bumper of Caden as they get into number 3.
He can smell it.
Picked up a little bit. Brian with the drive off the corner. Caden down to the apron.
We have a 75 of Michael Shear. He's down there in the apron as well. He's trying to get in there from 3rd position. He wants that 3rd position from that 8 car of Jay Felton.
Brian Johnson is going to make it work the long way around the outside. Caden here staying high. He may give up more positions here to Jay. He will shut the door on the number 8 car.
Well, I will have to say that our hopes of a Johnson finish has been diminished because it looks like Chris Johnson had a terrible issue when he restarted and he dropped way back to the 17th position.
Oh, not quite over yet. Is the draft still a major factor within these cars? Let's see, Caden will use every bit of track going all the way up to the wall coming out. Turn number 2. Brian, defensive on the inside, going to have to make Caden take the long way around.
Everybody abandons Caden. Caden's on the high side. Everybody abandoned. Well, no, we've got Jay Felton kind of dove up there, snuffed a little bit, and he dove back down.
It'll be interesting now if Caden can't pinch him down into the corners, really cut off of his exit. If he can cut off that momentum, he'll stand a chance there on the outside tires. You really don't have to worry about here with this little bit of a run left.
Well, I think that Jay Felton wants that second position. He's going to stand the low line, and he's going to foul Brian Johnson right through there. And then 83, Greg Johnson sneaks right in there and takes fifth.
Jay just sneaking up the track a little bit there, almost a little bit of contact. He's going to cause Caden to go a little bit high. He will shut down into that corner. Oh, Caden getting into the corner of Brian.
Oh, and they're just battling back and forth. Crossovers. This looks like we're going to have a 3-wide battle for the lead here.
Wide here off the corner.
We've got the 75 jumping
all the way
right
down.
now. It is 3 wide for the lead, and we've kind of calmed it down. That doesn't matter. We just keep jumping back and forth. Here comes. What is that? The 97 of Hollingsworth. He's like, hey, I
We'll
see
go all the way down. We were 3 wide at the stripe here. The 8 of Jay Felton, the 20, the 4 of Brian Johnson, and the 15 of Caden.
We're going to be 3 by 3.
Very high out of that groove. Brian Johnson will keep it strong coming out here.
And
That 33 is the late flag.
Chris, we have got 87. He's coming up. Gregory Heck.
That's still a factor. You see the top 10 all in one picture here.
This is
Brian
phenomenal
Johnson will take the
race.
late flag. Whatever the next flag is here, will end it.
Here we go, Brian. It's gonna everything you got. Looks like Caden got a little squirrely, but he's not giving up, and neither is Dave Felton.
We'll push the 4 all the way down. We'll peek it to the outside. Brian again's going to make him go all the way, the long way around here into turn number 3, the final corner. Here comes the 15 with the bumper to the 4.
Oh, it's gonna
Again,
take.
he's going for his sideways. 15 to the inside, and he will.
Oh, yeah.
What?
He hit him. It looks like
Photo
we
finish.
have Jay Felton might have got that race.
A photo finish at the line.
I don't know. It pans out. It kind of they're giving the race to Caden.
It is Caden by 19 thousandths of a second. Jay Felton by 83 thousandths of a second.
Let's go back and watch that that finish because first, second, and third are so close. It looks like the battle between Brian Johnson and Caden Rush was bouncing off each other, and somehow, some way, Caden Rush took the grass for the win. See if we can watch that replay here.
Such a good run there.
We see the 4 comes down. He collects Caden and pushes him into the grass. This still has Caden in front of him by at least a quarter of the car here. And they come across the start-finish line. Well, it does appear. So Caden crossed that finish line in the grass.
Oh, it was a bit of a slow start here, but I would say that finish is well worth it. Caden Rush will come away with a victory here at the, what was it, the AutoZone 400? I don't even know. Auto Parts, we had something here tonight. That was a hell of a finish, if I don't say so myself.
Yes, that was, and it'd be a hell of a photo finish when you see 2 cars, first and second, weren't even on the track.
This is only the second race of the season, folks.
Yeah, that's amazing racing. But like again, we go back, the 15 wasn't on the track, the 4 wasn't on the track, and Caden finished first, and Brian Johnson in the 4 finished second, and they were in the grass. they're looking for sponsors from, some grass company, lawn and fertilizer company. They were in there tearing it up, and he never lifted. Neither driver ever lifted. What an amazing finish. Shortly, we're going to have Caden Rush, who was robbed a win last week. We're going to have a powwow with him as soon as he gets done with his burnouts and everything. We're going to have an interview with Mr. Caden Rush here. So the end results of that race, it all came down to Caden Rush is the winner today in the number 15. Second place is Brian Johnson in the 4. Third is Jay Felton in the 8th. Fourth is Michael Shear in the 75. Fifth will be Jeff Hollingsworth in the 97. And sixth will be Gregory Hectus in the 87. Stephen Weston in the 74 comes up 7th. Michael Eames in the 3 comes up 8th. Clifton Cockrell in the 16 comes up 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is the 5'11" of Marty Walter.
All right.
Here we have our race winner, Caden Rush. What was with the mowing of the grass on the finish?
I don't even know. I mean, I think you'd have to ask the other guy. I don't know. We were coming down to the finish, and we were just racing real close, and I got under him coming off of 4, and I don't know why he hooked left. I mean, but it ended up losing him the race. He would have won had he not done it, but yeah, it's just unfortunate it had to come down to that.
Okay, very physical race all night from everybody. We know the risks are a lot higher. We're racing for a lot more this season. You got anybody you want to thank?
Just Flying Arrows, Michael Carey Media, everybody that just helps put the cars together. Ben, Zach, Christopher, Grayson, just everybody that helps put the team together. And I also would like to apologize to Kyle, the driver of the 38 car. That incident that happened on the front straightaway was purely a mistake, and he's pissed at me beyond belief, and he has every right to be. But I do want to apologize to him. It was an accident. There was a little bit of net code, but still, I don't ever want to win a race like that and take a fellow competitor who's competing with me up front all day out.
Well, Rubbins Racing, Caden, you certainly did manage to bring it home at the end of the day. You put on a hell of a show for everybody. And with that, Caden finishing at P1, it's going to be a hell of a point standing now with Gregory Hectus coming into next week. Where are we at, Al?
I have not got a clue where we're at next week. I don't have the schedule in front of me.
I think we're at Pocono.
Next week, the Tricky Triangle.
That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a fun one. Well, Caden, I appreciate the racing was exciting. I mean, you even had a little front end damage, and I'm not going to tell you I pulled for you the whole race because I'd lie to you. But I do want to say that there was some phenomenal racing, and from last week's not so phenomenal finish for you that I thought you were going to win the race. This is a kind of a reprieve. So congratulations, and go enjoy your victory.
Thank you, Al.
And congrats to Caden. And with that, we're going to wrap it up tonight. I want to thank everybody with the iRacing Stock Car Association. We'll hopefully see you next week, same time, same place. Al, it was great having you in here.
Thanks, Chris. Great to have you too, buddy. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great night, everybody. Be safe.
Good night, everybody.